Hello fellow engineers and welcome back to Timberborn. We don't usually see the main menu in this game. Usually we start with YouTube's catchiest intro song, but today is a special day because as you can see, Update 6 has launched and this update brings one of my most anticipated features to Timberborn, 3D water physics. And I've been sponsored by the devs to bust your myths about this new update and to help me prepare for the next season of Timberborners where we'll be making the most out of all these new features. So boost your link in my description to check out this incredible game yourself and use all my myth beavering skills to help build your own colony. So the first myth, poo water generates more power than regular water. So I think for this and probably quite a lot of these, I'm going to have to create a new map. We'll make it a very nice size. And then in here, we can play about a little bit. So a bad water source looks like that. When we compare that to just a normal water source, it looks like that. It's like just a single block. If we were to just build a little wall around both of these, I think I tested this out before in my Tesla valve video, and I think in order to make these like produce the same amount of water, I think you gotta shove 3 of those down like that and put them in the middle. So if we press play, you can see they are spawning water and it's moving at the same rate. So yeah, they're pretty much identical. So if we just make the sides a bit bigger, we can make these a bit longer as well. Now we'll need to wang a starting location down, so let's just shove that over there. And then I think that should be enough. So we can say this as Pua because we're testing the power of poo. Right, then we can select custom maps on here, go to Pua and then get it started. So I've loaded up the map, I've hit pause. I just remembered I didn't put a trench in there. So let me just hit detonate on those. We can speed up. Boosh! Oh my goodness, boosh! Right, nice. Then that water has somewhere to go. So these are just flowing constantly. So if we now hit pause, we can come into power. And you can see down here, we've got a compact water wheel. So if we just go like somewhere in the middle, we build one that side and that side, then these are both running. So these are producing the same amount of fluid. So we should be able to see which one is producing more power. So 59 HP, so 59 horsepower. And over in the poo water, 59 horsepower as well. So I'm sorry, the myth, poo water generates more power than regular water. It's been busted. Now, while I'm here though, a quick in-between one just to see what would be better, because I've always sort of wondered this. In real life, as you narrow a water course, the velocity increases. That's because more water is trying to like fit through a smaller gap, so it's got to go faster. So the question is, does that produce more power? I mean, it's speeding up all the time. If we just try and get to a point where it settles, it's gone up very slightly, but if I add a few more levees just so it looks like that, oh boy, yeah, that is how you do it. That is how you do it. So yeah, if you want to create faster flow, you've just got to put levees either side of that to speed it up. Now that is producing 182 horsepowers compared to a single one which makes 59. Surely, even if we were to add 3 wheels, now bear in mind a compact water wheel costs 25 logs to create compared to a levee which is just 12 logs. So this on the left uses more logs, but it only creates 177 horsepower compared to over this one, less logs settled slightly higher at 170. So I think that's really, really interesting to know actually. Nice. Right, this next myth, you can cap a bad water source without a bad water cap. So basically, if we come over to here, this is where the bad water source is, the bumhole of the map. If you want that to stop flowing, to stop producing sewage water, you got 2 options. One, wait for a drought. Alternatively, you can build one of these, a bad water discharge. And basically what this does, if we just plonk that on top, that caps the water up and you can choose whether you want to like open it or close it. But as you can see there, it costs loads and loads of resource. 300 gears, 200 metal blocks, 50 dynamite. So I am wondering, is there a better way? Because we now have platforms, and although you can't put a platform on top of these, you can see like you can build them around the edge, can't build them on top. I think we can build with these overhangs over the top. Yes. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? So these are significantly cheaper. So I think we could build 3 of those. You'd then have to build levees around the outside. And then you'd have to make sure the top is impermeable. So you can do that either with the impermeable floor. They just cost 1 metal block. Or you could use the levees. I think let's go with the impermeable floor. So that's only like 12 metal blocks. And then at the front, if you wanted to have it like discharged like this one does. So let's just just delete that fully. So this is just spewing now. If we grab a triple floodgate, shove those in there, if we then raise them, that should be watertight. I mean, we can use this to look through. So yeah, that's pressurized up to that point. So that's completely filled now. But I think if we fast forward time, no water is escaping. So that is a significantly cheaper way to block up the bad water source. I just saved you a lot of gears. You're welcome. So you can cap a bad water source without a bad water cap now. Confirmed. I'm just wondering as well, if I had used a double floodgate, so if I raise that to height 2 exactly, does that leak still? Oh no, it doesn't. Oh, so we could have just used a double floodgate to make it even cheaper. If we go down a tiny bit. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, that was under pressure. That was very much under pressure. Whoa, that was cool. And that actually brings me on to the next myth. You can make a geyser now. Or if you're British, a geezer. White geezer.
A geezer. Mate, you can't park there.
Right, so over here, I've made this. Basically, it's an 8x8 water source, so that's creating a whole lot of water. If I just press pause, my plan here is to sort of make like a pyramid over this. And then hopefully once the pyramid is in, the water will like shoot out the top. So how are we going to go about this? That's the other issue. So in terms of overhangs, the longest one we have is a 6er. So it goes to that point. I mean, actually, if we were to overhang back there, maybe we could do everything from behind, because water will flow through this, I'm pretty sure. So we'll just do a row of platforms like that. In front of those, a row of levees. I mean, because ideally I want to surround this entire thing with levees. I'm just wondering, if I were to build those platforms like that, can I then build levees underneath? Oh no, I can't. Okay, I can't do it that way. That's fine. That's fine. As long as I know. So in that case, I think the best idea here then is we just do like a 2x1 overhang like that. And then another one on top of that. And then another one on top of that. And then that on top. So we can do the same from the opposite side. So we're like pyramiding up to the middle. And then we just got to do the same from this side. Like that. We can then just shove platforms in just to make it symmetrical and nice. All right. So then we have that. Now, if I press play, you will see the water just flows through all of this. So that's not watertight in the slightest. But we can coat it in more levees. So I'm just going to go around the entire thing. I'm going to have to coat like all of that, then go up to that level, then go up to that level, then that one, and then on top. I have to do the same from this side. Yeah, it means I need to make the bottom base even bigger. All right, but then we end up with a pyramid like that. Now, remember, the top is hollow. So at the moment, it's spewing like that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We've done it already. Oh my goodness. The pressure. That's so good. The pressure. Oh, wow. Oh my. Oh my.
Oh my.
Right, so I just went to a drought. Now we're back in the wet season. So this is how it starts, like literally from the start. So water's spewing up because the top gap is smaller than like the base of all of those. It's building up pressure more and more. And then suddenly it's off and away. Look at it go. Whoa. So, oh my god, how tall is that? That is huge. And yeah, that could be even bigger. Like, if I did one like the entire size of the map, that could be a hell of a geyser. Right, I'm also wondering now then, what if I just made like one square up the top? So what if I did that? Would that shoot it even higher? So we'll press play and see what happens. I mean... It hasn't changed anything. Right, so I did the same thing. I reset it by going to a drought. So let's see what happens with just one of these, whether the pressure is like even more immense. So it's doing similar thing to start. You can see it slowly building up because like more and more water's coming down the actual pyramid. But wait for it. Wait for it. No, it's going up in the same shape. That's quite interesting. It really flies. It doesn't look like it's going any higher, by the way. Remember, there's only one little hole there rather than the 4 we originally had. But wow, that's... that was amazing. I'm really surprising. I wasn't expecting that. So the myth you can make geysers now is completely confirmed. Okay, well now I'm wondering, what if we had a geyser, but it wasn't a geyser. It was made with poo. So it was a geyser. Now, of course, one bad water source isn't enough. So let's try that many. And I instantly regret everything because my wrist is killing me from placing all of them. I've just realized I've got to build a pyramid over these. Oh dear. Anyway, we'll load up the pyramid and then we'll just regret life life as we build all of this. So that's the outer wall done. But then because we're putting the overhangs on top, we've actually got to go out another wall again. Actually, we need to go twice because we need to go on top as well. Our district centre is going to be in the way. Ah, balls. But also, I do hope that we can actually build high enough. I know there is a height limit in this game. I guess there's only one way to find out. Oh man, it's getting tall now. It's actually getting quite tall now. I think that is, yes, that is one wall sort of done. So I haven't really thought this through, have I? Because we're going to have a big gap in the middle. Is this not square, or have I just, maybe I just haven't done it properly? No, I definitely, okay, I just haven't drawn it properly. I think we're fine. I think we're fine. All right, anyway, I'm going to build this into a pyramid. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
One eternity later.
Okay, we're nearly there. We are nearly there. I think this took as long as the actual pyramids took to build. And the worst thing is, this is like completely see-through, so I still need to coat all of this in levees. But let's just close up the top and we can see what we've got. Oh, look at that. Look at it. Beautiful. So yeah, levees have to go all the way around the bottom, and these don't drag very far either. We do a short little length at a time, which means it's going to take ages. But yeah, just got to slowly work my way along, and then eventually we'll be there. There's not that much to do. Oh dear. Anyway, editor, key one of those SpongeBob things.
Much later.
Right, oh my goodness, I think we're done. I think we're finally done. That's the last bit. Yes, look how good it... Oh, balls, I missed a bit. Damn it. Right, okay. Okay, now we're done. Now we're done. Oh, my wrists. Ow. Oh. Right, okay, I am... I'm so intrigued to see what happens. So we can go down some layers to watch this. So let's hit plate and just see how much poo water starts. Oh wow, it is flying. It is flying. Is there any leaks? I was a bit worried about this corner because the district center got in the way. But oh wow, that is filling up fast. If we just go down with all the layers, can we literally just see poo? Oh no, it cuts through. Oh, it cuts through the poo water as well. Okay, all right, let's speed up time. Oh my goodness, it's filling up so fast. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, that's just normal speed. Look how fast it's going. And obviously because this gets narrower and narrower, surely it's just going to get quicker and quicker. Oh, should I block the top? I might block the top. I think just because we know that poo water will build up like in pressure. Like, oh yeah, look, it is coming for the surface. It is coming. Oh, it's moving fast. It is moving fast. And then boosh. It has nowhere to go. So we just let the pressure build just for a few minutes. And then I think we hit pause and then we start deleting. So let's delete those, then delete those 4. So now there's a hole in the top. So let's press play and see what happens. Oh, it's proper volcanoing. It's not, is it not shizering? Oh no, it did a little shizer. Oh, it didn't do a big one though. Oh no. I mean, that is quite cool to see, I'm not going to lie, but kind of expected more. I'm not going to lie. What if we speed up time? Is it anything to do with time? No. Oh, no. Oh, no, our poor little beavers. It's getting closer and closer. Although, actually, that could bring us on to our next myth. And the myth is constant bad water exposure accelerates contamination rate. So basically these beavers, because they're in the poo water, you can see here, this beaver spent too much time in contaminated bad water. It's fine for now, but it will get sick in a few days. Now the myth is if you were to leave these beavers in poo water, they would get sick faster than the ones not in poo water. So I think the way we need to do this, we've just got to put 2 little dams in so that this no longer is flooded. Right, and then you can see they're thirsty. So I think what I can do, I can plonk a water storage there and another one up there. And then you can see I've filled both of them with water, although it is flooded. Can they not get to it, even if I put a path to it? Okay, they can if I put a path in. So I've just connected a path between them. I'm hoping, yes, look, some have gone up there. That should be enough that I can get rid of that path, put a dam back in, get rid of that dam, direct a bit more sewage down here. Oh, I feel bad for them. Right, and then it's just a test to wait and see which group of beavers get contaminated first. I don't like how these guys are sleeping, by the way. I think actually this is like mythception because we're confirming a myth within a myth. So beavers cannot die from drowning. I think that's confirmed because they all had their heads underwater, under poo water. So myth within a myth confirmed. Beavers cannot die from drowning, but who is going to get more contaminated? Oh, hang on, look. look, contaminated beavers. And on the right-hand side, also contaminated beavers. Now, interestingly, they haven't all got contaminated at the same time. But the fact that right side and left side both contaminated, in fact, more on the left than the right, I think having constant exposure to bad water, pretty sure we can say it does not have an effect on the contamination rate. So constant bad water exposure accelerates contamination rate. Myth busted. No, it doesn't. Although now I feel really, really bad for these poor little beavers. Sorry. I mean, at least the baby's okay. Right, before we move on from this map, we can do a few other things here. Now, the myth for this, covered water doesn't evaporate. So first off, let me just delete all of those because we want the pyramid, but we don't want the poo water. All right, so they're all gone. So we're not creating any more bad water on this map. So if we just go back to the top layer, we should see this will, there, look, that's slowly lowering. Then if we just fast forward, we should get to a point, hopefully. There was a lot of excess pressure in there. Yeah, right, we're to that point now. So at this point, as we know from before, this is evaporating. So the fact this is poo water, I'm not too concerned. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the levees back in. So that is now completely covered, right? So there shouldn't be any evaporation happening. So if we just go down a level, you can see here, those blocks are completely like filled up to the top. So if there's no evaporation, I can leave this here as long as I want and we won't see anything. So we'll just go to 30 times speed and we'll just let it run and we'll see, will that water level drop or will it stay where it is? Is there evaporation when water is covered? Yes, I realize this is poo water, but it's the same thing. And I think the way we're going to tell is those stripes will disappear like they just did. Hang on. If we keep watching, yes, look, it's going lower and lower. There's the platforms which water can flow through. Okay, well, I think that's got to be myth busted. Covered water doesn't evaporate? Busted. It does. I mean, I guess you could argue it might go like into the ground. But yeah, I don't think the game's capable of that. So let's move on to the next one. Right, I've gone back into the map editor just because there's another myth I want to test out. Now, this myth is during bad tides, the bumhole of the map in capitals will spew more poo. So yeah, these bad water sources, I call them the bumhole of the map for obvious reasons. And the myth is these spew out more poo depending on whether a bad tide is active or not. So what I need is sort of a way to compare these because obviously I can't have a bad tide and a non-bad tide running at the same time. So I can't do a side-by-side comparison. I'll have to get the old stopwatch out or something. But yeah, what I was thinking, if we just put a blockage like at the end like that, and then all we're going to do is like a comparison to see which one overtops first. So what we'll do, we'll get ready, we'll press play, and then we'll hit the stopwatch at the same time. So editor, get a timer on the screen, get ready to press it. Go. So the water has started spewing. Ignore the green next to it. I think that was from the water source I had next to it. But we're just waiting for this to overtop. And then when it does, that will be our stop point. So we've just hit 30 seconds. Hasn't overspewed yet. I think it's going to do it at the top end where it's actually spawning. So get ready now. So that was 47 seconds. So now we can press this reset button up here. We can hit pause again, and then we just click this button here to simulate a bad tide. So if we get the stopwatch back up, we hit play again, we can now see, will this produce more water? Because usually a bad tide, all we know that it does is it turns a water source into a poo water source. But does it actually change the bad water source, the bumhole of the map? Does it spew out any quicker? That will be the question. So we're coming up to that 30-second mark. Doesn't look like it's ahead at the moment. We're now heading for the 40-second mark. Yeah, it's gonna, I think it's going to be very, very similar. Ready now. 47 seconds again. It's identical. So the myth, during bad tides, the bumhole of the map will spew more poo. That is busted. Also, apologies if you heard Paddy bark in the background there. Right, this next myth, I'm heading over to a corner over here where nothing is there. And it's a very interesting one. The myth is you can make water siphons now. And I was thinking, how could I like show off a siphon in this game? And then someone else suggested showing a Pythagorean cup, or the greedy cup, which you may have heard of before. If you haven't, I'll build it and tell you how it works. So let's start off just by getting something quite high like that. We'll then shove a little hole in there. So we got that sort of thing. We'll then put a water source up the top. Leave it as greedy cup. and then load it up in the main game. So what I want to do, just build some floodgates at the back and the front. I'm going to open up the back ones, raise up the front ones so it's like that. Oh my god, did you see that? There's different heights. You can really adjust them now. It used to only be like half a height you could adjust by it. But right, the water's flowing out the back. So in the meantime, I need to build this cup. So I think first off, we start at the base, and we're going to need levees as well as the new impermeable floors as well as platforms. So what I need to do is sort of make like a out the base, put that in, and then I can do levees around it. And so basically we can build this up as like a hollow vertical pipe. So we've gone up to that height, and then need to do like another bit of platform on that side. But I think I also need the overhang. Yeah, because the overhang has to go over that bit so that I can levee on top all of those. So basically this is completely hollow with like a side entrance there. We then just raise this up to that sort of height, and then put an overhang over that. But now there's a gap in that wall, so we'll just make sure that's all blocked up like that. And then basically this is going to be like inside our cup. So we'll go up to that height as the inlet. The platforms over like that. And then down there, we just want that to be the main inlet. So if we just go up like that, then we're all good. So if we use this layer tool in the top right, we can like sort of cut down so we can see how this works. So just looking at this side, if we go up a level, you can see the water's going to enter there, and then it's going to flow upwards. As the water level outside it goes up to that level, then it will go over there and then down the bottom, and it should flow out the bottom, and that should create a siphon. So water enters there, it goes up over the top and then down out the bottom, but only if the water level, which is going to be in the cup surrounding. So let me just build platforms around the outside like that, then platforms around like that. Now what I need to do, I need to make sure these are watertight. So we use these impermeable floors, and if we just cover that entire area like that, then no water can leak through that. And with the levees, we can then make our cup, and then that's fine. Although I've just remembered I've blocked up my hole at the bottom. Let me just go down. Yeah, so that one there I need to get rid of. But now you can put levees on platforms. That is an easy job to do. And so basically we can make this start filling up with water. Now what I want to do is just lower this level a little bit. Let me lower those floodgates, raise these floodgates. So now the water's flowing out the front. Now we can see inside there shouldn't be any water coming out, because we've got an impermeable floor, we've got the impermeable levee walls, and so down this side, that's just the overflow. Sorry, beavers down there, by the way. But yeah, you can see down the bottom, no water's coming out. That's because, remember, this is like a siphon, and it's called a greedy cup, because the idea is that you pour yourself wine into your cup. And hang on, let me just wait for the night cycle. Damn night cycles. And so let's say you poured yourself a normal amount. There's your cup. Ignore the blob in the middle. But you can see you got a drink from there. You can drink it. Lovely jubbly.
Yay, lovely jubbly.
It's called a greedy cup though, because if you overfill it, it will trigger the siphon, which means it will all drain out the bottom, and then you have nothing to drink. So if we just slice down to there, so that is the level where the water will come up. You can see the water in that hole. As soon as it gets up to that level, it will flow over this U-bend and create a siphon. Well, that is the theory anyway. If siphons do work in this game, I'm not expecting them to at all. That would be insane detail, insane physics. But right, I think we've got to the level where, yes, there is water flowing out the middle. So if we now just give this the best chance we can by just plugging that up to there, we'll let it get a little bit higher just so the siphon's sort of fully, that's completely full. I mean, it is nighttime now, typical. But as you can see, we can't overflow this because the water's coming out the siphon in the middle. But if we were to just block that up, if this does work as a siphon, then the water will flow out the middle, and all this water will be siphoned out. The question is though, will it actually work like that? So you can see that's the water flowing over that middle point. I think all the while the water level is high on the outside, it should empty. Let's just speed up time. Yeah, it's going down. It is going down, but will it stop when it gets below that level there? Because surely it's not going to create like suction and a siphon. No, it hasn't. So the greedy cup has not worked. You can be as greedy as you want. You just might make a little mess on your shirt. So probably not surprisingly, you cannot make siphons now. That is myth busted. That was such an elaborate way to show a siphon. It's a cool thing, though, the greedy cup. Anyway, the next one is quite an easy one to show. The myth is water wheels work better in a waterfall. So if we just demolish everything we have here, so we go boosh, demolish. I've never demolished such a large area at once. But yeah, we'll get rid of that debris just so it's neat. Right, and we saw earlier that those compact water wheels down a channel with a 3 by wide water source, that was creating 59 HP. So what I'm thinking, we either shove this at the bottom or maybe slightly in the air would make it fairer. So I've just shoved a triple platform down. I've then put the compact water wheel on there. And all I'm going to do up here is just swap the old floodgates over so that the water comes out the front. And then we should see, if it was going to work, movement. But look, there is no movement at all. So it looks like whilst there is now 3D water physics, it doesn't actually affect these unless the water flows out the bottom, like that bottom one. And I think that does make sense because if you actually read the... Where's the description gone? Yeah, the description is 60 horsepower per centimeter squared. So I think it depends on the depth of the water flowing that way. Hence, in a waterfall, power wheels do nothing. So water wheels work better in a waterfall. That is myth busted. Anyway, let me just save these beavers' lives quickly. Actually, how? Yeah, they're quite close to dying. Let me just save their lives quickly because look, they're really thirsty and there's just no water about anywhere. There's no water. Okay, so I'm just giving them water so they can drink that. I've just given them loads of berries, so they should be able to go get some food. Right, so now they are living, which means they're useful to me again. So what this next myth is, haulers can pick up debris. So what usually happens, like when you destroy an object, if you look here, it turns into a pile of debris. So that's got 19 logs in it. If I just destroy all of that stuff, we've got 2 piles here with logs as well as planks in. Now you can see that is out of range of our district center though, but if I were to just extend up to there, you can see that's now in range. So these can be picked up if there's storage space. Now usually your builders would do that. So if you click on your district center, you can see your builders. They would be the ones that go over and grab that. So if I just pause that, it means that there's no working beavers in place that can pick those up. So if I build a storage down there for logs, you can see no one's coming over to pick those up. If I had a builder, they would go and do that. But the myth is haulers can pick up debris. So if we grab one of these, a hauling post, and then if we come over to here and we unpause it, so we have a hauler, will they do anything? Oh no, look, he's just sat on his butt doing nothing. What if I up the priority of picking these up? Come on, hauler, you're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. So yeah, haulers do not pick up debris. Now if I just unpause the district center, so we have some builders, you can see the builders are coming over straight away. So yeah, the myth, haulers can pick up debris, completely busted. They are lazy old beavers. Right, the next myth, RCE will never find the layers button in the top right corner. I'll have you know, I just used it in a previous myth. Look, I'm all about... Oh, that's the wrong thing. I was going to say I'm all about layers, but I was just changing the working hours. Shut up. Myth busted. Right, the next myth is quite interesting. I think we could do it down here as well. It's all about evaporation. The myth is wet beavers lower water levels. Now, as you may or may not know, as beavers walk through water, they gain this basic need called wet fur. That's because they are a wet beaver now.
That's what she said.
So if I just add a little channel down the back here, this water out the front has evaporated, and then therefore the beavers down here, after a certain amount of time, they will lose their wet fur. So we'll just wait a little bit so that these beavers can dry out. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get two sort of ponds going on down here. So hopefully if I lower that floodgate, it should fill up both of these, ideally without flooding over to those guys. It's like I may need to lower that a bit. Yeah, there you go. Because I want to fill up both of these at the same time. So that I think is perfect. If I then just raise these floodgates, these should level off at the same time. Yeah, okay, sweet. So that shape as well. That cannot just be meat. But anyway, let me just delete all these walls just so it's a bit easier. And basically, we're going to be doing a comparison to see whether one of these evaporates faster than the other. But one is going to have beavers treading through it all the time. So if we just put stairs like that and that. We can then just put loads of like well-being stuff up here. So we can put like a rooftop terrace, an exercise plaza. I could even delete their food and water. And then as long as there's a path down there, I think all the beavers should want to come over to this place up here. So yes, you can see them now splashing through this water on the right-hand side. Left-hand side completely untouched. So we'll see if all the beavers wandering through there, look, they're shaking off all that water. If they do that and then head back, I can make them go back by like unpausing jobs. Like unpause all the haulers. Let's up the working hours. And yeah, look, they're all swimming back through it. And then we've just got to see whether the left one evaporates slower than the right one. And yeah, I'm just going to keep tweaking working hours so they keep going either way. So leave this with me and I'll be back with you guys in a few hours.
Much later.
Well, after hours and hours of this, just back and forth, you can see both levels, they're actually evaporating pretty evenly, I think. Like if we zoom in, I don't think there's any sort of, I don't think there's any sort of faster evaporation happening on one side than the other. All that's happened is my beavers are happier than ever. Yeah, they are identical levels, completely identical. Because technically the right side would have less water because there's stairs in there as well. So yeah, I think that one, wet beavers, lower water levels, is busted. This guy getting his back scratched, rolling his eyes. He's loving it. He's loving it. Anyway, I need to delete all this because I got another myth to do. So this one is another evaporation one. And the myth is shallow water evaporates faster than deep water. So I figured what I'd do like a 2x1 rectangle. So I've got something like that where basically we've got a 2x1 and a 2x1, but that one's vertical. This one's horizontal, but higher. And if we just lower the floodgates, they should both fill up. Yeah, okay. So now we can raise those floodgates. And then if we speed up time, we'll just have to wait and see which one of these evaporates faster. Now, I've sped up the game time significantly. You can see they're actually evaporating at the same rate, but only like per tile. So in terms of water volume, I guess technically shallow water evaporates faster, only in terms of like the volume, if you know what I mean. If you've got a 2x1 load of water and it's stacked vertically, you're going to hold on to it a lot longer than if you got a 2x1 like shallow, like on the right. Because as you can see, look, the right one is nearly completely evaporated. Yeah, it's gone. So that's the same amount of water in terms of volume that was in there. But this one, only half of it is gone. So there we go. Shallow water evaporates faster. I think that's myth confirmed. I'm not really sure it's clear enough to completely say confirmed, but I am going to say confirmed. Right, this next myth, crops and trees do not require sunlight to grow. So now we can build over things. I think we can build over farms. So if we grab a farmhouse, plonk that there. We'll grab a forester, put that there as well. We can then just connect those up, and what I'm gonna do, we'll get some birches because they take 9 days. So we'll just say plant a load of birches as our sort of tree test. Then we'll go into the crops tab and we'll find something that takes 9 days. There you go, canola. So we'll plant those. I mean, maybe we'll do like a little strip of everything just so we've got the variety. But right, beavers are beavering away, planting all of those now. But obviously these have sunlight and we don't want that. So we want to find out if we build up some big walls like that and then put a roof over this, and yes, you can see there is still a gap. So like the pyramid, we will coat this so it's now inside a box, so there is no sunlight getting in. In fact, if we go under the layers, you can see it's even dark in there from all the shadows. So what we want to find out is, will these grow? I mean, they've got the water supply next to them, so you can see the area is all green, so they've got water, but they have 0 sunlight. So we're just flying through the days in fast motion, and you'll notice things are still growing. So if we have a look inside, look, everything's grown. It's watered and healthy. Hence, crops and trees do not require sunlight to grow. That is myth confirmed. Right, is this next one serious? Oh dear. Right, this next myth, you can boil bad water to make a jacuzzi. So I think the theory behind this one is because we have, like, let's say the flame of unity. So if we build that, we have a constant flame. Now, I think the theory is we can build over the top of that flame, and then let's say we were to cover this in impermeable floors, that means up here we have an area where we could potentially store some bad water. So if we build a bad water pump over here, connect that up with a path, then some of our little beavers will come over. And yes, they are now working their wood, getting us a load of bad water. Now what we can do, we can build a little staircase up to here and then turn this into a pool. And then we can use this little guy here, the fluid dump. So if we shove that there, then look, there is a beaver carrying a barrel of bad water. They're going to carry it up the stairs and then they will start dumping that out into this area. And now we have a little pool of bad water, which, as we know, has a flame underneath. So this should heat it up and, in theory, could create a jacuzzi, a heated mud bath. So let's just wait a little bit. And oh my goodness, it worked. It actually worked. Okay, it didn't work. It didn't work. Sorry, I built another one next to it. So yeah, you can boil bad water to make a jacuzzi. That is myth busted. However, we have another myth here. Because if we click on these two beavers, you'll see one is called Engineer Matt and one is called Engineer Paddy. And the myth is architects can be used to improve life for engineers. Well, if we head down to the bottom here, look how this is being powered. Now, if we click on these beavers, you'll see all of them are named after my editors, but they're all architects. We got architect Schmeichel, Bird, Scarecrow, and Cole, who is editing this video, by the way. Say hello. And we have confirmed the myth that architects can be used to improve life for engineers, because look how happy we are. Ah. Anyway, for this next myth, I need a bit of space. So let's just get a load of dynamite, and then we'll just go boosh. Spreading all that out. Oh, let me just pause it first, though, because I don't want bad water getting down here. But what I want an area to test this next myth, which is separate reservoirs will be the same level when linked with just a pipe. So obviously we know water can flow like from like along an open channel like this. That's how the game's always worked. But now we can make pipes. So if we just pause it a second, what we could do, we could make this a little like reservoir, but then delete that, put a platform in, then make a pipe like over to there-ish. I mean, in fact, let's make this cooler actually. Let's use one of those. Let's use two of those. So if we coat them in impermeable surfaces like that, can then put platforms on top like that. And then if we just turn this into a pipe by using levees, so we put levees down either side and then we put levees over the top. We then have a reservoir here. In fact, I'll make sure no water can get into the base. So yeah, reservoir there with a pipe. And look, you can go through this pipe and then it comes out this end. So if we then make a reservoir out this end, what I want to know is if I put a floodgate there and then just let this fill up with water, no water should go through the pipe. There shouldn't be any leaks. No, I think we're good. So this side is filling up. And then once it gets near the top like that, I think all I want to do, just shove two floodgates there downstream so that the water overflows down that side. You can see this reservoir completely empty at the moment. And water can't flow like at surface level into this one. But with this pipe, they're connected at the base. So the question is, will this side fill up or will it just stay at like sort of the top level? I think previously in the game, not that you could even build a pipe like this, but if you did link it like just with a canal or something, I think it would only fill up to like, well, to the lid of that. I don't think the pressure would like actually fill up this side. So let's just delete those water sources. Right, and then let's see, will these two lakes equilibrate to be at the same level? So if we lower that, and then we'll speed up time. The left one is sinking, the right one is raising. Do they... Oh, it's going a bit back and forth. It's going a bit back and forth, but will they settle at the same height? That is the question. Oh, I don't know. Is it going to? Hang on, it's now nighttime. Bloomin' night cycles. Damn you. But yeah, fast forwarding through the night, they have settled and they are at the same level. You can see like how high up that dam piece there are. Exactly the same one over there. So yeah, I guess they do. Separate reservoirs will be at the same level when linked with a pipe. That is myth confirmed. Anyway, this next myth is another evaporation one. I have two square pools of water here, exactly the same depth and everything. And the myth is showers don't use up water. So what we're going to do, we're going to build this in one of them. So this is a shower. So this will use up water. Well, will it use up water? That is the question. But it will use water to clean our beavers. because you don't want a stinky beaver. So if we just wait and see, yeah, look, we can see this working. So it's a double shower. These beavers are having a very romantic moment, but water's being sucked out of the ground. It's then spurting onto the back. Now, obviously, this is making these beavers wet. This is going to get me demonetized. So you can see the wet fur bar is going up there. Now, as we learned before, that wasn't using up water when they were swimming. But does it use it up in the shower? Because I think this probably just drains back into the water. But let's speed up time and then just try and... I mean, we can see it evaporating before our eyes. Are they going at the same rate? Or when beavers shower, does it go faster? That is the question. Now, we've had loads and loads of showers going on, and it looks like the water levels are identical. So I think the myth of showers don't use up water is confirmed. They don't. It just pumps straight back in, and all the water that lands on the beaver ends up back in the original source. So that's good to know. Yeah, the next one, we are gonna have to actually get to night. So let's just wait for the sun to set. There we go. This myth is flooded water will put out a campfire. So if we grab a campfire, they're in the well-being tab, and if we shove that down there, you can see we have a flame. Now we can come over here and just place a water source and then see what happens. So if we press play, water should start spawning from there. Yeah, look, there it is. There it is. So is the fire gonna go out? I think it probably will. Oh, it did. Oh, that's cool. I thought it wasn't for a second, but yeah, it does. Oh, nice. So flooded water will put out a campfire. That is myth confirmed. It will. Okay, the next myth, an engineer can make a Timberborners series without a beaver side. I don't know what you're trying to claim here. I never just allow all my beavers to die. That would be horrible. Keld Muller has died as well. Oh no, they're all dying. They're all dying. Yeah, all the beavers just... Oh no, it's flooding. It's flooding. Montana Williams died. Orc Top has just died. Oh, we're down to 4 beavers. All I see is loads and loads of dead beavers. Oh no, don't do that. They're all dying of hunger now. They're all dying of hunger. This genocide of beavers happens like every single episode. When I see the volcano above just spilling down onto the contaminated beaver heads. Okay, editor, that's enough. I guess that's myth busted. But there's always next season. There is always next season. We've got this new update now, so it might be okay. Anyway, this next myth is an interesting one. You can create infinite power with water wheels now. So basically, if we go into the power tab, you'll see that we have this large water wheel, and that makes quite a lot of power. 270 horsepower per centimeter squared. I assume that's what CMS stands for. That's not how you write it in engineering, but still. I think the way we can make infinite power is if we go into the water tab, there are these deep mechanical fluid pumps. They require 700 horsepower, but these basically allow you to raise water up a level. So what I'm sort of thinking, if we were to bring water over to here, we could have like a little pool area. And like if we were to say like make a sort of maze, let's just raise this up. How tall do these water wheels want to be? Yeah, I think that height is good. Now I think when they made the water physics 3D rather than 2D, they actually removed friction from water, which I think means it can flow like infinitely and like it won't stop. So I think what I want to try first, let's just let this fill up so water goes into here. Then I want to take this down that way. And then if I shove a water wheel up there, we can see how much power that produces. So let's just speed it up. So it's oh wow, it's around 500 HP. Okay, I think it's sort of settled at 400 HP. So 2 of these should power 1 pump. But what I'm wondering, if we delete that, the pump's a lot narrower. So this doesn't need to be that wide until we put the wheels in. But what I'm thinking, we do like a maze, but we do a maze so that the water can come back like to the area that it's at, if that makes sense. Let me just draw it and then you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the layout I've done. You can see the water comes in there. It should go all the way around there, and then it swoops back to this narrow bit where there's a dead end. But there's not going to be a dead end. There's going to be loads of pumps. And the number of pumps we can put in, I think it's going to be roughly half as many as the wheels we can put in. So maybe we start with the wheels, and as long as I do them like that, I think the power is shared between them all. So we've got 14 there, which means we can get 7 pumps in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I think we can probably do like 8. And then hopefully squeeze in 2 power wheels there. Yeah, there we go. So you can see their power does come out that end. So I should be able to just plonk some of those down. Get some double platforms down this end. Shaft them all up together. And that should power the pumps. Then all we got to do is block this off. I've used floodgates there. So let's just watch this fill up. We've just got to fill it up with water. So if we watch this flow, you should be able to see how it works. So water flows down there, spins those, flows around this way, spins all of these. This should all be combined into one network. So they're all spinning, and then we get back to the pumps here, and then they're pumping out the front, which means if we now lower those floodgates and just block that up, this is now like a closed sort of loop. So what we should see is infinite power, because I think all of these are producing, yeah, the power supply 7,000 nearly. The actual demand only 5,000. And you see as the water comes round, it comes out this way, but then it just plops back into the front. I mean, you could probably do this without pumps at all. Oh, I wonder if you could do it without pumps at all. But with pumps, I'm pretty sure. We've had that running for like a good couple of days now. Still completely working. So that is a perpetual motion machine, unlimited power. And remember, this only works because there's no friction physics in the water, I believe. So the water just keeps on flowing. It never stops. But yeah, what I'm wondering now, if we were to just pause it, we'll just ignore that all of our beavers died of thirst. They're fine. They're fine. We then just delete all of these pumps. We then just expand the dam up to there. Now, the trouble with this is the water from there is going to flow backwards, and then it's going to stop everything moving. But we now have something new in this update. We have this, the sluice. So this allows water to flow through it in one direction only. So if we were to place these facing that way, that means water can flow around that way, but not back the other way. So hopefully, when we press play, yeah, no water flows backwards, but the water that's flowing along this way, if we just speed it up slightly, should come around the front, and then we should get a constant flow. Now, some of these are stopping, so maybe it doesn't work like that. There's only one way to find out, and that's just to leave it running and see what happens. For now, there's still a bit of flow. They're sort of moving. The reason I did it with the pumps initially, though, was because I knew that would provide some sort of like forward force. Yeah, so it has stopped. So that initial momentum did actually stop in the end. So maybe there is some sort of friction. It's just not as high as previously. But the myth of you can create infinite power with water wheels now is confirmed, but you need to have them power a pump. Trying to rely on just a sluice gate working and the initial momentum does not work. Well, that's good to know. Anyway, let's go on to the next myth. So for this one, I'm going to delete that. And so here we have a constant stream of water. I don't actually know if it's deep enough for what I want to do. So I think what I will do, let me just dam it at that end, just so that the water level rises before pouring out the end. Yeah, that's good. So let me just check that beavers do swim in this. Let me just put a staircase there and one there. Right, yes, they do swim. Although that one's that one's not moving with the current at all, because because the myth for this one was beavers swim slower against the current of water than with it. So what I was going to do, I was going to add something down here that the beavers might like, and then time them swimming down. And then do it the opposite way around, time them swimming back, and see how long it takes. So what can I put down here that a beaver might like? I've only got one tile to play with. Oh yeah, a scratcher. They'll love a scratcher. So let's wait. I think that one there. So from that point, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So they are off. Oh no, they stopped. They stopped that one. Okay, this one. Ready, go. Okay, they're off. They're off. See, they're swimming. They are swimming with the current. So is the current helping them? They got there in... Stop. 10 seconds exactly. So now we just wait until they go back. They're having a good old scratch down there. A good old scratch. But they will want to go back to the district center. So come on. It's enough scratching now. Come on, hurry up. I haven't got all day. Okay, I'm going to have all day because he's not going anywhere. I got another way to do this. I got another way. Boosh. In your face. That's one way to get a beaver to do what you want. So yeah, right. We press play, and then from now, we start the timer. And is he going to swim it in 10 seconds or less? It's going to be as soon as he gets to the change of direction. So ready now. 10 seconds exactly. So I think we have proven the myth of beavers swim slower against the flow of current than with it is busted. A current is no match for a beaver. Right, the next myth is beavers will never take a shortcut to work. So my thought here was I need a job where it's done at the location. So I'm thinking deep water pump. So if I just build that there, make sure there's stairs up. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the path. And then rather than connecting it straight up, we're going to go off this direction. And then we're going to go in like a little bit of a scenic route around the map. So here we are. We've got our district center here. We've got our log pumper there. You can see the route from the district center. Just follow this path. Just go straight across that little bit of grass. And then they're in their job. The question is, will they follow this new layout? Or will they take the shortcut? So let's press play, and then we've just got to find the beaver. So here they are. They're called I Love Walking. So let's keep an eye on them. And so currently, I mean, what are they doing? Why aren't you going to it? Hang on. Do I not have working hours on? Oh, working hours are on 0. Wait, one second. Let me just raise those again. Okay, so they're in the middle of their working day now. So they should now head to work. The question is, will they take the shortcut or not? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh no. Okay, we'll just speed up, and it looks like, yeah, they're gonna take the path the entire way. And this actually leads into another myth. So we could do another mythception here. The myth is a beaver can die of thirst or starvation if their commute is too long. So I guess we will find out shortly, because if we look at the stats, you can see I Love Walking's food and hunger levels. They are dropping quite rapidly, and I don't even know if they're halfway there. I mean, I could extend this, because I could do platforms and make this longer and longer. I mean, we're at the point now where they're not even sleeping because their commute's so long. So they've got all these negative things going on, which means their walking speed is reduced to minus 35%. When they get to work, their working speed is minus 50%. They have been traveling for a couple of days now, and I might be a horrible person. I might actually extend this. So what I might do while they're still walking, if I just get a load of platforms and then just start platforming the area, we can extend all these footpaths way further. Hey, who's this little guy? Where have you come from? You're a builder. I don't know what you've been doing walking along there. Anyway, this beaver's getting to the end now. So what I was thinking of doing, let me just hit pause because I don't want to mess anything up. So let me put stairs in there. Can then do more footpath on this upper level. All right, the frame rate is actually starting to struggle now. This is probably getting on for like as far as you should ever build in this game. And the thing is, I could just keep going up on floors and floors and floors just to make sure that this myth, we bust it or find out whether it's confirmed correctly. We leave no stone unturned. All right, so then we end up along this edge. So we're just going to go right back to where the stairs were. Put some more stairs in and then delete that footpath. Now, rather than going along there, it goes all the way up onto this second story of footpaths. So let's keep pressing play. And yes, we're good. I Love Walking is still heading to work. The deep water pump. They're now 15. I think they were like 10 when they started, or 11 or something. They've still got a long way to go, though. A long old way. But it's worth it for 2 myths. Well, we've already confirmed one myth. Beavers will never take a shortcut to work. That is myth confirmed. But we're trying to confirm whether a beaver will die of starvation or thirst on their way to work. And I think they will. This beaver is not turning around. I mean, there's no food or water back home. So maybe they don't have a reason to turn around. Actually, what if I build a storage back home and then I fill it with berries, a beaver's favorite food? So will this beaver turn around now it knows that there's food if it turns around? No, doesn't look like it. Still heading to work. And the hunger bar's pretty critical right now. Oh no, it's really low. So, oh no, that bar is not good. This is one hungry beaver. They might love walking, but they need food in order to do it. They've walked so far. Look how far they've walked. The worst part is they are actually nearly there, although there's no food when they arrive anyway. Unless they take a shortcut to food. Anyway, let's speed it up. See how far they can get. They're so close to getting to work. They are so close to getting to work. They might actually make it. They're going to make it. They're actually going to make it. I could extend it to make it longer. I don't think that would be fair. Look how close they are to getting to work. And now I want to know, will they go straight to work or will they go for the food? Can they get a shortcut to food? No, they've actually gone to work. They've prioritized pumping their log and then they didn't even pump it. And now they're heading back and they're not taking a shortcut to the food. They're going back along the path. No. You silly, silly beaver. And I can't believe how far they've... What? Why aren't they dying? Like, if you have a little look in that corner, all the other beavers have died of thirst, even though they had food. This beaver's refusing to die. What's going on? Okay, what is actually going on? How have they survived so long? These bars have been empty for ages, but it's not dying. So maybe a beaver can't die of thirst or starvation if their commute is too long. It gives them unlimited lifespan. I am very confused. Are you not dying because I'm looking at you? And that would be like horrendous. So the devs like put some sort of code in where a beaver won't die if you're looking at it. All right, I've upped the speed to times 30, so we're absolutely creaming it through the maze. This beaver refuses to die. I don't know what's going on. But look, it's made it home. How have you made it home? Why aren't you dying? Is it just because I'm looking at you? Hang on, if I were to let go, do you die? No, you don't die. But now you're going to grab some food. Wait, what are you going to do? Oh, no. It just went... Oh, no. So do beavers, like, not die on paths or something? It went all the way over here to die. Oh, I love walking. You'll be remembered as, like, the best beaver ever. You did so much walking. Do you remember that time you were walking and then you were walking some more? And even though you were hungry and thirsty, you just carried on walking. So I guess for the myth, a beaver can die of thirst or starvation if their commute is too long. Yes, but not on the commute, only afterwards. So I don't know whether that's busted or confirmed. That's a bit of both. Unbusted. All right, so for this next myth, I've gone a little bit back in time on the same map. So we have all this space again. But the myth is beavers are really good at solving mazes. Now we know that these beavers down here, we just reduce the working hours to 0 so they can all come out. There you go. Look, they are hungry. They are thirsty. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to build them a huge water storage and a load of berries in the storage as well. But they need to get to that. And I'm going to build a maze to it. And then we'll see whether they can solve the maze. I'm going to put loads of dead ends. I'm going to build it out of 2 high levees so they can't just like peek over and see what's going on as well. All right, so I've built the route first. So it should be fairly easy to see how you get in. Just follow the path.
Write that down, write that down!
But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put loads of levees to make loads of dead ends and things. And then with all the levees done up to 2 high, I can then just fill in all the other paths just to make sure that the beavers don't know which route is which. And then with all the paths completed, I guess we'll find out, are beavers really good at solving mazes? So... let's press play and then see whether they all go the same direction or they all spread out trying to work out the actual route. So if we speed up and look from above, it looks like beavers are in fact very good at solving mazes. They're going the direct route. Okay, well, that is myth confirmed, I guess. Beavers are really good at solving mazes. Confirmed. Right, the next myth, I've loaded up this old place. Oh man, this is actually quite decent. Fair play. But yeah, this was the volcano map and I turned it into a lovely paradise. But the reason we're here is because these beavers are the folktales. Now the folktales have windmills. And the myth here is the higher the windmill, the more power it will make. Now that actually does make sense. A lot of games do this sort of thing. So I guess we'll grab a windmill. Ooh, there seems to be a height limit. Look, this cannot be built at this height. If we try and build this lower down. Now you may have noticed my gravity batteries have gone. I think that's because I'm actually in the new update. And yeah, things like we have here, like the high power shaft, I don't think they exist in the new update anymore. If you look here, there isn't one of those because we now have the vertical power shafts, which would have saved me a lot of time if we had that in the previous update. But yeah, so I think like older saves that use stuff that has now disappeared and stuff are going to be a little bit wonky, but that's fine. Anyway, it does look like we can build that up there. So we've got one up there. I've already got one down the bottom. I've disconnected it from the grid. So we can click on that and see it's making 204 horsepower. That's because the wind is moving. So if we head up here, this one is also making 204 wind power. So I guess, well, I don't guess, I know. That is myth busted. The higher the windmill, the more power it will make. Not in this game. Look, the wind's just changed 177. Both of them are identical. Doesn't matter the height. So yeah, you don't have to worry about making your windmills like sit on cliffs or anything like in some other games. Wind is always the same in this game. Right, and I think that's all the myths I've got for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. That was a whole lot of myth busting. The myth beavers, if you want to put it that way. Don't forget to check out the brand new update using the link in my description. Thank you so much once again to the devs for sponsoring this video. As you guys know, absolutely love this game, so I'd recommend it to anyone, particularly now we've busted a load of myths and we know exactly how things work. So these guys are going to dance us out and I'm going to say peace, love, and myth beavers. Bye guys.